Alright, so it's the next day, so I'll give you an update where we're at. So we disconnected the generator around 6 o'clock. That's when we were informed you're not allowed to have a generator, so we've been off battery from that point. When we were out here right in front and we actually wanted to move about and do stuff and need light, I ran the white LED lights that go across here. However, after that we went over and hung out at our friend's campsite, but we wanted to have some light on over here just so we could find our way back easily. So then we switched to this light. This light here uses quite a bit less power than that one. If you just need a little bit of light outside just so you're not walking around in pitch black, that's the one you want to use. Did not run the inverter last night. We do have the USB to USB-C cables now, so Robin did charge her iPad. It was around 50%. She charged it all the way to 100%. So it's now fully charged, and we basically charged that without using the inverter, and that came from the batteries. Now, it took forever to charge, but it charged while she was sleeping. My laptop is dead, so shortly I'm going to have to actually turn the inverter on. My phone is dead. So right now my phone is, it wasn't dead when I went to sleep, but my phone is now dead. So I've now got it plugged in and it's charging. So as soon as it turns on, we'll look at where our power levels are. So basically we'll have a little bit of charge that has gone on my phone to turn it on. And then we also did run the fan on high. We opened all our windows, but there's absolutely no airflow in this park. Probably because of the trees or whatever reason. It was just completely calm, no airflow at all. So even with all the windows open, we had to run the fan. So we ran the fan on high, which is 30 watts. The fan is running now as well. So because Robin's still there sleeping and Britton's sleeping, and so they wanted some air to be moving. So that's what we've got for usage. Not really a lot, pretty much mild. The smaller outside light did end up staying on until 3 because when Robin came in after taking care of our dog, she forgot to turn it off. So it stayed on until 3. So from 6 to 3 we had at least one light on. Also when preparing food and stuff like that, we generally ran only one light at a time, and that's what we've been doing. I do have the Home and Garden LED strip that I used inside, and that actually has the little remote control. So if you want like a night light that you can use with remote control, that light uses the least amount of power. And that's that right there. Not sure where all the power went. We're down to 71%, but we were about 90 last night around, so roughly 20%, like expected, but we didn't really have a lot of stuff on, so I'm not sure how that happened. But in any case, right now we're using 49 watts. That is with the fan on high. So let's go ahead and tell you how much these actually take. I'll go ahead and turn these off. So yeah, it uses only, looks like 2 watts for those. So those are actually probably the most efficient lights here. Then let's go ahead and check the outside porch light. So that's on now. And that one uses about 3 to 4 watts. So that would be the most 2 efficient light systems in the camper. Out of all the lights, 2 of those Home and Garden strips plugged into the USB, and then using the porch light outside. Those are going to use the least amount of wattage. So I should have checked this last night before going to bed. As far as I know, everything is unplugged. We're using a little more wattage than we should, 10 watts. Not a lot, but it should only be about 5 or 6 watts. If we're really trying to conserve, what is on? Something is still on that I missed. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. There's the culprit. This, even though I've got it set to totally run on gas. Look at that. There it is. I never saw that before. I did not know that. Now I'm going to turn the refrigerator completely off. Look at that. So, something to keep aware of. The circuitry, of course, on the refrigerator that turns the pilot off and on for the gas is controlled by something. When you disconnect the batteries to have them get a good charge while you're gone, you are disconnecting the refrigerator. So keep in mind, we've got some components we can't turn off. I've got about, between the TV being in standby mode and the radio being in standby mode, that's about 0.3 amps. And then I've got the battery monitor, which is also about 0.3 amps. 0.5 to 0.6 is generally where you're going to hover. But then you cannot turn off the refrigerator completely, even if it's just on gas. There's your other few amps. So putting you at around 10 watts for your camper just to be in standby mode. So if you wanted to walk away from this camper and have the batteries not suck any of that power and get the charge for the day while you're gone off your solar, do your disconnect. That's still okay, because keep in mind your refrigerator is really, really insulated. So if you're only going to be gone for 5 or 6 hours, it doesn't matter. You can do that battery disconnect. Your refrigerator's still going to be plenty cold. It's not even a concern. Base level, standby mode this camper is going to take with everything that you can turn off within reason. Like if you want to keep your refrigerator running on gas, is 10 watts. I'm going to take this off. My neck was hurting. I slept okay last night, but my neck's bothering me again. Well, it's always bothering me, but that does help. It looks ridiculous, but it does help. In any case, so another thing that you might find interesting, so I'm turning the inverter on because my computer is completely dead, so I need to plug it in. And now normally what I would do is I would just plug it into my car, turn my car on, and run an extension cord out and use the inverter that's in the car, right? But I don't want to mess up this test. So I'm going to run it off camper power. I'm doing everything camper power. I'm not going to cheat and use anything from the car until we have no other choice, so we can see where we're at. So I'm turning the inverter on so that I can run my computer because it's completely dead. I can charge it off the USB that's in the camper, but that's going to be really, really slow and I need to use it. So I'm going to be using the inverter. With that being said, just if you wanted to know this fan on high, which does really well and moves some air, if you have your windows open, it takes about 30 watts. This fan, however, can do a little better at moving air around in the camper. So if you don't need to actually pull outside air in and the camper's not feeling muggy and gross, keep all your windows open. If you have to have your inverter running anyway, this fan on low only uses 5 watts more than the bathroom fan. But keep in mind, that's only if you're running the inverter anyway. Otherwise, if you don't need your inverter on, use the bathroom fan. But I think to make them a little more comfortable in here, I'm going to turn this fan on because it's only going to cost me 5 watts. That could be a mistake later down the road. We'll find out.
That thing comes off?
Yeah. So when I left the camper, we were at 59% battery left. And
I didn't pay bills yet.
As far as the solar coming in, we were only getting about 0.3 amps. The battery monitor uses 0.3 amps, so basically we had a zero gain from the solar.
It's back there.
So not expecting a whole lot from the solar. I disconnected the batteries from the camper, so the camper is not sucking anything. So the battery shouldn't go down much, but I don't see the solar really helping the batteries gain any charge while we're gone. Alright, I just turned it on, but we literally gained nothing today. That was with a 100 watt panel. It basically got us enough to break even.